We rejoin Scylac on the day of battle. All the dark forces have gathered and are eager to spill the blood of men. And Varasi, in all her wisdom, has sent Scylac another boon, a mercenary company called the Spears of Volumbra. Sadly, Scylac is too eager with bloodlust, and when the mercenaries send a group to parley, Scylac attacks them, causing them to side with Redport. Battle begins, and Scylac leads his troops against the mercenary forces, but soon realizes that perhaps he has made a dire mistake in making foes of the Spears of Volumbra. He watches as his forces are massacred, and soon he is captured. He awakens and learns his army is broken and has fled. While Varasi is displeased, she grants him another chance and he uses his spells to escape. He hides in a grave during the day and tracks down the mercenary company under the cover of night. He sneaks into the command tent and attacks the leader with the aid of a summoned elemental. The leader is gravely wounded but manages to escape, and Scylac uses the confusion to retrieve most of his equipment, including Elfi's skull, before once more fleeing into the night. He makes his way to a forest, where once more he is graced with a vision, this time of a dragon laying its eggs in a nearby lake before dying. But also the vision came with a dire warning that should he fail, his life would be forfeit. With a new purpose, Scylac sets off to find the lake. But hunger gnaws at him, and he decides to dine on the rotting remains of Elfi's brain after purifying it with a spell. Soon he finds the lake from his vision and decides it may be a good idea to bathe, since diving in the dark is foolish. Sadly, when he emerges, he finds kobolds rooting through his items. And so, for the next few minutes, Scylac, chieftain of the Firebrand tribe, cleric of the goddess of death, and gatherer of the dark army, spends his time chasing kobolds who stole his pants. He manages to retrieve his backpack, but the kobolds made off with Elfi's skull. On his way out of the forest, he encounters woodsmen, and after a murderous display of his might, he forces one to dive into the lake and retrieve the dragon eggs. After murdering his thrall, he gets some much-needed sleep, and another vision is presented of a town to the south, in which a dark altar awaits hidden beneath a shop. And so Scylac sets out to execute the will of his dark goddess. He reaches the town and finds the shop, and meets the creepy owner, who is very eager to begin whatever plans Varasi has. What will happen with the dragon eggs? Will he ever find the flaming bone spear? Will he be able to complete a quest from Varasi without screwing it up? Find out next time on Dicing with Death.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing today? Oh, Ryan's still listening to the intro.
Why don't you give the shout outs while I'm.
So while Ryan listens, well, welcome to Dicing with Death. One thing that we did want to give a shout out to was that Layla and Chris, the people that do the lovely intros for us, are going to be supporting the Macmillan. Oh God, what was the name of it? The Macmillan Cancer Support. It's an organization that supports those with cancer and their families. Layla and Chris are going to be shaving off their heads and donating their hair to it, and they have a little link for if you guys want to pitch in and support some nice cancer research. I'm going to post the link in chat, and I'm going to say it aloud as well. It is justgiving.com/Layla-Ellis, Ellis. So if you want to give a little bit of money to some worthwhile cause, that would be that. And hopefully by now Ryan has caught up with all of the important parts of the intro.
Yeah, it finished like 5 seconds after you started talking, but that's fine.
Perfect. Here. So, Ryan, how are you?
Okay. Busy with work. I was joking before stream. This either I could blow off some steam playing some D&D, or my life could just get a whole lot worse.
Yeah, one of the two things is going to happen. So, where we last left off, you are in Rockwave. You are in the hidden altar down in the basement of some strange man whose name you didn't quite get last session.
I guess you're right.
And if we will all take a moment to appreciate the beautiful map. It's come a long ways.
What brilliant artist put this together?
I don't know. Some guy on the internet. Some genius somewhere. Anyway, who cares about the map? Other than me. Whoa, that's not the right thing. There we go. So you are down in the... I guess you could call it a dungeon. It's a dungeon in many ways.
There was like an altar with blood all over it and some chains. Mm-hmm. It's a dungeon.
It's very dungeon-esque. And you are down there with Lorith, the cleric of Varasi in Rockwave. He does give you his name because I think we ended right on what his name was. So.
Okay, yeah, you made it a weird cliffhanger.
Well, I didn't want to give him a shitty name, and I hadn't thought of it yet. So.
You didn't want his name to be Larry.
I didn't want Larry, the evil sorcerer, or the evil cleric. His name is Lorith.
And because people in chat are asking who I'm playing.
Oh yeah, who are you playing?
I am Silak. And I am Death Incarnate, the Hobgoblin Thief Priest of Varasi.
Yes. And you spell your name how?
Silak. That's what I have on my character sheet.
Okay.
But hobgoblins aren't renowned for their literacy, so I think it's more of a spoken name than anything.
Okay. I've just been spelling it on the everywhere Silak. So maybe I should change that.
I feel like I saw it Sylak somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere else. You're pretty bad with spellings.
Yeah, that's never been my strong suit. I will just move some things around. Anyway, you are down in his dungeon, and you are discussing what it is that you need in order to corrupt these eggs. The old man is dark and twisted outfit. Up top, he looks kind of bumbling and harmless, but down here with the flickering candlelight and the blood-stained altar, somehow he looks a little bit more malevolent. He says that in order to corrupt these eggs, we'll need about a cow of fetid meat, some powdered dragon bone, fresh elf blood. Mind you, it must be fresh. And about 500 gold worth of powdered emeralds per egg.
Let me write that down.
Yes, yes. He starts to pace back and forth.
Actually, Silac doesn't write it down. Ryan writes it down.
Right.
So it was a fetid cow.
Mm-hmm.
How much
Powdered.
How much powdered dragon bones?
He just
He
said
didn't say.
powdered. If you clarify with him, it's like mm, like a good double handful of powdered dragon bone. So it's a good pork. It's a good amount of it.
Fresh elf blood.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And 500 gold worth of powdered emeralds. Excuse the hiccups. And that's for each egg. So for the 4 eggs, you need 4 cows. You need a bunch of powdered dragon bone. You need about 2,000 GP worth of emeralds and some fresh elf blood.
well, forgive me if I'm not eager to get started, but the road has been long and I am weary, and this is quite a shopping list.
Yes, yes, it must be. I have been waiting for so long that I'm eager to get started, but I understand your need to rest. Not everyone can have the same marching power as a human. It gives you a little bit of a twisted smile.
Yes, yes.
I believe there is a spare cot down here for when my research goes too long and too late and I cannot make it back home. You are welcome to dwell here for the time being. But I encourage you not to make your presence known in the city above, or to muddle with too many things down here. A great many of these fluids are caustic and will burn you.
Good. Caustic fluids, best fluids.
Yes, yes, he mumbles.
I saw that you had a well-equipped apothecary upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not have some of these components in your possession? Or perhaps other reagents that may be of interest?
I unfortunately do not carry any of the components we need. I have some powdered dragon bone on hand, but we will need much, much more. And the elf blood that I keep on hand is not nearly fresh enough.
'Tis a shame. My elf only recently died.
You had an elf.
I look sullenly at my feet.
Well, this part of the world runs quite short on elves. The only elf known to be living in these parts would be the advisor to Count Equus in Clydesdale.
The only elf in the land is in Clydesdale?
The only elf I know of. There may be others running around.
Oh, well, had I known, I would have been more careful.
Occasionally, ships will make port in Redport. Elven ships will, but I don't know when or how often or how many, or I know nothing about them. As for emeralds, well, there is a mine near Hillsborough, but that is heavily defended, and you are but one goblinoid. They're the jewels of the Countess Equus. She particularly enjoys emeralds. They remind her of her favorite horse's eyes. And of course, you can always just buy them. You don't have 2,000 gold, do you?
I look to my waist. I don't even think I have a coin purse at this point. I have zero coins. I don't respond to him, but silence.
Problematic indeed. The real issue is going to be the powdered dragon bone. I do not know where there lies the remains of any dragons these days.
Well,
Perhaps
that
we can
That I
find
can
some.
handle, I say.
Oh,
It is where I just came from, but the mother of these, and I like take a knee or I don't know or walk over to the table and
mhm.
pet one of the dragon eggs. The mother of these laid them as her dying wish. Her bones are still resting
Excellent.
with the nest.
Well, then bring me as many as you can carry. We'll have a great need for this in the future. Is there a problem?
Well, dragon bones are heavy, and these lie at the bottom of a lake.
You got the eggs. I'm sure you can manage getting the bones too.
Maybe I should have kept that manservant.
No. I think the least of our problems will be the cows. There are plenty of fields around here one can purchase a cow from or take a cow from. Or a few pigs if you prefer, or a horse, or it should not be an issue getting them here.
No, it is not. I am chieftain of the Firebrand clan. Each of these cows is mine by rights.
He chuckles. Well then, Silak, get your sleep. In the morning, our work begins. And he pads off.
Say, as he's walking out the door, you don't happen to have any scorpion venom in your stockpiles upstairs, do you?
I believe I do. Come with me. He takes you upstairs. He sorts through his stuff. You guys find the type of fluid you need.
Is it caustic?
No, it's just toxic.
All right, scorpion.
Mhm.
Scorpion venom.
You.
Does he just like?
He just gives you a vial of it. It's 5 doses.
Okay. All right. Then I think I will head into the basement again. I'm gonna take what's his name's hand. Well, I don't have any hands at all, so I guess I'll need to save that for later.
Oh, you're totally out of hands.
Need to go collecting some hands. I was getting the venom so that I could make some more, but
Right.
I don't even have any skeletal hands to enchant.
Well, Lorth has 2 perfectly useful hands.
He has one perfectly useful hand, and then one skeletal hand that he's already reanimated
Or something.
or something.
Okay. So, you head downstairs and you go to sleep.
I don't know that I actually do go to sleep.
You head downstairs and you stay awake.
Oh, well, I think I might go out.
You don't head downstairs or go to sleep.
Well, I go downstairs, and I was gonna make myself some crawling claws, but then I realized I'm fresh out of disembodied hands, and I'm fresh out of cash. So I think I may have some errands to run.
Okay.
What is the basement like? Is it a single room with
It's
staircase
a
leading up?
single room, staircase leading up, bunch of supplies tucked behind the staircase, weird barrels and boxes. You're not sure what's in any of them. There's the altar kind of in front of the staircase and against the back wall, because the staircase comes down next to the back wall. Then there's tables against the other walls that have, one of them's got the small laboratory on it, or the alchemy lab. Another has books and notes and papers and weird components. There's a couple of bookshelves and a few stools. There's a cot tucked underneath the alchemical lab.
Seems more like a wizard's study than a priest's sanctuary or whatever. Is the altar engraved with any religious insignia?
In the center of it is the bone hand of Vorasi, along with there's a bunch of blood grooves to keep the blood flowing in the right direction.
Is it like a carved hand of Rossi
Mhm.
into the stone altar.
Yeah. Let's see. And there are other strange symbols and markings on the altar that you can't place.
Yeah. I am not trained in these arts. Actually, I have a 15% chance to read languages that we've not rolled all campaign. So get out your fucking dice.
I can't believe you. No one ever puts anything into read languages. I'm
Yeah,
so proud of you.
I was feeling funky at level 1. I guess put 15 points into read languages.
You cannot read these languages.
All right. Well then, what am I doing? I don't have any weapons aside from a longsword I can't use. Bone dagger. This could get ugly. All right, there's only the way, like if I were to leave, the only way out of the basement is up the stairs.
Yes.
I'll spend a few moments searching for a secret exit. I mean, what kind of grape dungeon doesn't have a secret exit?
Give me a perception check.
100%. I've also got to find remove traps, but I guess I'm not looking for traps. 30. What secrets does this dungeon hold?
As you are looking through the bookshelf, you come across, you're kind of like pulling things out. You come across a book that you tried to tug, and it just kind of bends backwards, and there's a click, and the altar starts to shift and grind, and the top panel of it pulls back into the wall, revealing a subterranean staircase.
Going down?
Yes.
No, I can't help myself but descend. Does it close behind me, or I take a candle with me as I go down?
It does not close behind you.
Does it look like there's a way to close it behind me?
Yes, there's a little, like a pulley, like a little handle on the wall as you head down the staircase that looks like it would be used to activate a door.
Here goes nothing. I give it a switch.
You give it a nice tug, and the grinding stones above you slide into place. It is now pitch black except for your candle.
Yeah, I have infravision, so hopefully with the candle I can at least see the 60 feet.
Yeah.
Does it seem like the switch is two-way? As in, could I click it again and open the?
Yeah, it's like a tuggy thingy. Yeah. So
I'll probably flip it just to make sure, and then flip it back.
Like, yeah, you tug it, the stone grinds back, and then it grinds back. Yeah, it opens and closes.
Okay. This would be a sad way for the campaign to end, suffocating in in the dungeon.
During my Europe trip, we had a campaign where people locked themselves in an inescapable dungeon and just slowly suffocated.
How did they manage that?
There was a very large rock that was sitting, like a big boulder that was sitting on the entrance to this little crypt, and stuck down in the crypt was something that they had to go fight and kill and retrieve. And they pushed the boulder off in order to get down there, knowing full well in advance that if they didn't leave someone to hold the boulder back, it would roll back in place because it was kind of at the base of this hill. And they just figured that they'd be able to find a way out no matter what. So they pushed the boulder, all hopped down, the boulder rolled back in place and went down and killed the little monster down there who had been trapped down there for hundreds of years because it couldn't escape, and proceeded to suffocate. Like after 7 days, because they had a lot of food and supplies, and it was nasty.
You're horrible.
Anyway, you're not suffocating
yet. All right, I descend this staircase. It appears to be of carved stones.
Yes. Yes, it is. Where is... Here we go. You proceed down the staircase. The stones are slick with moisture, and you see water is leaking in on the sides here and there. The steps curve and wind down in a spiral. After maybe a descent of 30 feet, you enter a flat chamber. You see the reflections of maybe dozens of eyes looking up at you from the ground.
Rats?
No, strange monstrosities. You see halves of corpses crawling around. You see an entire zombie just kind of stumbling towards you blindly.
Does it like come at me aggressively, or is it just like stuff?
It's an undead, fleshy thing walking at you. It doesn't
Okay,
seem to
well,
be aggressive.
I reach out and I touch its face and I channel the goddess and I find out what the fuck my channel divinity is. Do I have the power to control undead? To turn undead?
We never discussed your channel.
We never
divinity.
discussed that. The go-to, I mean, the typical for an evil priest is control undead.
If you would like control undead, that is yours. If you can think of a more suitable channel divinity, speak up now or forever hold your peace.
I don't know. I mean, Ferocity is the goddess of death. I don't know. Do you have any suggestions? Considering
it could be a very similar thing to Tyrus's lay on hands.
Caused here.
I was gonna say just cause death, like lay on hands for damage.
I've already got cause light wounds, which is not all that effective, to be honest. Like, because you've got to touch something.
Mm-hmm. Control undead will work.
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to give me the equivalent of a turn undead check.
Yeah, it's a D20, right?
Yes, sir. Turning undead. What level? You were a level 2 priest?
Level 3.
Okay, give me a D20.
Yeah, level 3 priest.
You need a 7 or higher.
Yeah. 7.
7?
So they're one hit die creatures?
Yeah, they're zombies. Well, this one's a zombie.
Zombies are 2, aren't they? Or are they 1+1?
Well, for level 3 priest, the zombie is a 7. A skeleton is a 4.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I see. And I think I possess or control 7 of these. How many are there down here?
There are about a dozen pairs of eyes. There is one like actual standing walking zombie. The rest are strange mutilated corpses that are either pulling themselves around or just stuck in place.
All right.
You can control, you said how many? 7 of these?
I think so.
How did you get the number 7?
Actually, I don't. Normally, priests roll 2d6 to see how many
Up
turns.
to
but I
12
guess evil
undead
priests-
can be commanded.
Yeah, so I guess I don't even need to roll, or do I? Or do I still roll 2d6, and that just means 12 is the maximum?
12 is the 12 is the maximum. There's an evil priest and undead section to the right. Evil priests are normally considered mainly with the undead, or at least shared blah blah. Thus, they have no ability to turn undead. However, they can attempt to command these beings, resolved in the same way as turning attempt. Up to 12 undead can be commanded.
Okay. So does that mean I automatically just command all of the zombies in the room?
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that, this is Silac. This is his first encounter with undead, just aside from the crawling claws he's encountered. So I reach out and I touch this creature's mottled, decaying flesh and feel Verosi's power flow through me. And
Groans
I find,
at you.
12 pairs of rotting eyes
Mm-hmm.
gazing in my direction with anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I stand up and I step through the crowd and compel them to part as I stride through this room.
They do their best to
this
crawl
chamber.
out of your way. You find yourself in a fairly empty chamber. One of these zombies was munching on a person who happened to be chained to the wall, seemingly dead at this point. Dressed in rags. It looks like some street urchin that someone picked up off the streets. A younger one, maybe an adolescent, 15 years old or so, just chained to the wall and having been fed upon.
I take a look at this person.
Nondescript.
Is it clearly dead?
Yeah. His bowels have been ripped out. One of his legs is missing. There's no pulse.
Well. What was that guy's name? Did I already forget?
Lorik.
I thought so. Lorik. Yeah. Well, these are Lorik's servants. I will leave them be for now.
Okay.
And if there's no other exit from this chamber, I will resurface.
You resurface, the stone grinds away and then grinds back as you fiddle with the bookshelf. And you are in your little sleeping chamber.
Yeah, I want to go out into the city. I'm broke and I don't have my blades. I need to do some scavenging.
Okay. It is late. You step out
Good.
into the city.
So there's no issue with leaving through the alchemist shop. Like
No, I mean,
I had to head out of the basement, and because he had told me not to leave,
yeah, told you not to
Or-
leave.
or not to. At least he said, "Don't let anyone know that you're here," or something like that.
You head out of the cellar.
Is he not?
No problem.
He's not up there.
He is not up there. There are two exits from the alchemist shop: the front door and the back door. The front
I
door
slip
and back
out.
door are both locked.
Okay, I slip silently out the back door.
It's,
Um,
yeah, I guess
isn't
you
it
could.
locked?
It's locked.
Is
They're
it
both
locked from
locked.
the
Yeah. I'm just thinking, is this a sort of lock that you need a key for on both ends? And I don't think so. I think it's not like a British door. You can unlock it from the inside and then lock it from the outside. You can't lock it when you exit. The inside
Does it
has
have
like a bolt
That's
that
a
you
deadbolt.
turn.
Okay,
Yeah, a flippy
a
deadbolt.
deadbolt.
Dun, dun,
That's
dun.
a priest of Veracity. What else would he have?
Mhm.
I'm gonna fiddle with the lock. Actually, what is my my open locks is only 15%. Let's try it anyways. You want me to roll that?
No, I roll it, and after 10 minutes of fiddling with the lock, you give up. It's just,
Okay.
you need more practice.
All right. So I leave the back door unlocked as I slip silently into the alleyway, or is it out into the back street?
It is a back alley between this shop and many other buildings.
Okay.
There's a small creek that runs down it. Rainwater combined with probably just raw sewage. And you notice that it is raining out there. A storm seems to have come over Rockwave. A light storm for now.
Okay.
The waste material flows through the little creek down the narrow alleyway, but thankfully the smell is washed out by the rain. You're in the back alleys of Rockwave late at night.
Yep.
In a
Move
gentle
silently is 80.
And I'll give you a nice fat bonus
And-
for the rain, making it
85 actually, 85, and then my find remove traps is 20. Or not find remove traps. My hide and chat is 50.
Okay. So you go from shadow to shadow through Rockwave. Any particular place you are thinking of going?
Try and find someone to rob and or murder. So I need daggers, and I need some disembodied hands. And I need some cash. So I will pull my black hood over my head and slide inconspicuously down the street. Maybe I'll look for, if I see a tavern, maybe I'll sneak in there and find someone to murder, or
So you make your way to the
Perhaps-
main street
perhaps a
instead of one of
weapon
these
shop.
alleyways?
Yeah, I think I stick to the alleys and peek out into a main street.
Okay. Peeking out into the main street, you see it's pretty much deserted. There's one person running from like one side of the street to the other, from awning to awning, trying to get some cover. It is dark. The little light that is available is streaming out from open windows or underneath door cracks. So your infravision is really helping you here, because you know it's a stormy night. There's not a lot of light coming from the sky at all. Moons and stars are completely blocked. You take a look around the street for a while. It looks pretty deserted. Most of the shops seem to be closed. It looks like maybe a block down the road towards the docks, there's an open tavern. You can see light spilling out, and you can hear the faint sound of music and maybe a little bit of chatter in the background. It's
I'll
hard to
quickly
place.
sprint across the street and then duck into a shadow on the other side of the street.
Okay.
Peer around to make sure there's no one about, and then creep up on the tavern slowly.
A
I see anyone else
a
around?
sign dangles from the awning, has a picture of a rooster on it.
Is it a crimson?
It's too hard to see in this darkness. Your night vision is more black and white than anything else. Oh my god, those were the worst sneezes ever.
I peek into the lit window.
It looks to
Hold
be
my head to the glass. Perhaps someone inside sees a spooky face peering in.
It appears to be a busy tavern. There's some music being played. There's people chatting. Drinks are being clacked together. People seem to be having a rousing good time. You can hear the faint cries of "To the death of hobgoblins! To Clydesdale!"
Do I recognize? Can I like wipe some of the fog off the window and see if I can recognize any sigils, or banners inside there?
It seems to mostly be general townsfolk, but someone has raised a flag of Clydesdale and is hanging
Oh.
it from like one of the rafters.
Yeah, Clydesdale can go fuck itself. I've got a bone to pick with the spears of Philumbra.
There's no sign of them.
All right. So I'm gonna step away from the window and around the side of the building and scale the wall. My climb walls is only 60, and it's wet, isn't it?
It is wet.
How many stories is this tavern?
It is 2 stories.
Okay.
Um,
How am I doing?
you have a lot of trouble. In fact, it's too much for you to handle in this rain. It's slick. Your fur keeps slipping. Your nails
Don't have fur
bend.
on my hands.
Your hands slip. You can't quite climb. You get the barrel to get yourself a little bit of a better starting point, but you can't make it up.
I circle around the back of the tavern, somewhat defeated.
Okay. The kitchen door is open. Hot air blows out. There's a person inside, 2 people inside in the kitchen working. You hear their clattering of pots and pans. Someone curses as they touch a hot stove. There's a roast pig sitting over an open fire. And you can hear the sounds of laughter and joy coming from the common room.
Two of them, you say?
2 cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm hiding in the shadows, eyeing these cooks.
What do you do?
I'm looking at their hands lustfully. No. Not worth my time.
Music ends. There's some scattered applause.
I slink off down the alley away from this tavern.
Okay.
Um,
You're in the streets, just walking through them.
yeah. Do I see any weapon shops or blacksmiths or?
Yeah, if you head back out to the main road and kind of keep walking around, you come across the 3 blocks down as you walk, right near the port, near the dock. You're still on like this raised section before the docks. There is a weapon shop. A big sign dangles that has crossed swords over a shield. It looks like an armory of all kinds, weapons and armor. There are glass windows with bars in front of them, so you can peer in, but you can't get in.
Can I see?
Yeah, it looks like a nice armory. There's racks with swords and spears and shields. It's hard to tell in the light. Probably not. Probably bronze. But maybe. You don't know.
My longsword is steel, correct? The one that I stole from the leader of the Spears of Falumbra?
Yes.
And I never bothered to ask, but I assumed it was. Okay. Anyways, I approached the door, or the lock. Is there like a lock on the front door?
There is. The front door has thick iron, not the iron, thick bronze going around the sides with bronze stripes crossing it. It's a heavy reinforced door. It would be a bitch if you were trying to kick it down.
Yeah,
but
I look side to side to see if there's anyone coming up the street.
It doesn't look like it. You kind of are out in an exposed area, though. This is
yeah,
kind of an open square. Thankfully, it's dark and raining.
Yeah, I crouch in the doorway and press my body against the wood, disappearing into the shadows with a 50% chance. And then quietly and stilly, I remove my set of lockpicks from my bag and go to work.
Okay.
My hide is 50 and my open locks is 15. And I think it's the reason it takes, I don't know. I look side to side to make sure no one's coming. But I think that's pretty much assumed when you're picking a lock. Right? Yeah. You're
keeping your eyes out, your ears open.
Yeah.
This one, it's close. It's a bitch. You feel like you've almost got it, and you actually end up being so focused on what you're doing that you don't notice the approach of a person until you hear a voice saying, "No, you really should be using this other type of pick. You need a blah blah blah."
How close am I to finish to cracking the lock, or is it like a?
It's one of those things where I think I can get this. It's one of those. It feels like it's coming along, but you're maybe only about halfway there. But you have confidence in yourself.
I snarl and peer over my head, but my hood drapes over my face, hiding my identity. I stay crouched, and what do I see?
A lean youth leaning against one of the posts holding up the awning. He's got fairly simple clothes on, nothing that stands out. He might have a knife at his side, but you can't tell much else. You can't even see his face from the angle that you peer, just his lower body.
How close is he to me?
15 feet.
And you would have such a thing?
Well, of course. But it'll cost you.
Oh, my dear boy, you have it backwards. It's going to cost you. And I, in one fluid motion, I go from, crouched in the doorway to just towering right over him. I stride the 15 feet and look down on him.
He backpedals a little bit, and you see a little bit of fear overcome his eyes for a moment.
I cast a command spell. Let's roll initiative, or does that just go off?
Let's roll initiative. Fuck. Okay, you go first.
4.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Come, I say as he started to back away.
He,
Gets a saving throw.
if he has 13 intel,
Yes, if he has 13 intel or 6 hit die.
he comes towards you.
Okay. And I draw my longsword.
As he approaches you, he says, actually, no, I think he's kind of semi-enchanted right now. He doesn't say anything.
I mean, yeah.
What do you do as you draw your? What do you do when you draw your longsword?
I beckon him face to face and look down at him, and then I think that I get a free round. Basically, I mean he can probably like stab me or something. I mean he just has to obey my command. But so I mean that I command him to come. He approaches me. My
His hand does
longsword
not
in my
go
right
near
hand,
his weapon at all.
and I reach out to his throat and attempt to grab him. That's the next round though, but he's coming. Should I just roll the hit?
I mean, you can roll the hit. You can make an attack with your hand.
Yeah. I think that's plus. I'm a level 4. I think it's still only +1 to hit.
What level rogue are
Level
you?
4 rogue.
Is +2. No, you're right. It's +1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still an 18.
You grab him by his shirt or by his throat, whichever you prefer.
And I'll do temporary damage if I can. I mean,
by grabbing and
so
squeezing.
that wasn't a gentle grab. I mean, attempting to restrain him, but
Okay.
if I accidentally choke him into unconsciousness, that wouldn't be a problem either.
Okay.
And I drag him into the shadow of the. I drag him into the doorway where I was picking the lock.
He
And
starts
shove him up against
coughing
the wall.
and trying to speak through your strong grip. He says something to the lines of the brothers, but you can't make out any other words.
Tell me why I shouldn't kill you right here.
The brothers!
Take those pretty little hands of yours for your disrespect. And I caress his forearm and hand with the flat of my blade.
I'm
I loosen my
protected!
grip on his throat.
I'm protected! You can't kill me.
Your brothers cannot protect you from death.
You don't
Come.
even... You don't know what you're doing. And then he grabs the knife on his side and tries to stab you.
AC 14.
He does stab you. Where's my d4s? You take 3 points of damage as the knife pierces your side.
I reply in Thieves' Cant. I'm in the know, yo. Is that what Thieves' Cant is like?
Not quite, but sure.
And I guess maybe we'll roll initiative. I'm not sure if he's going to keep trying to stab me.
I mean, do you want to do something? Or are you just going to stand there and choke him? What are you trying to do?
I've let go of his. I think I let go of his throat when he stabbed me, but I've still pinned him between me and the door
Okay.
of the weapon shop with a sword in my hand. So if he tries to escape, I'll hamstring him.
Okay.
But I'm intrigued enough to
He
hear him out a little more.
gasps for breath, and after a few moments of it, he brightens up and looks at you.
What did he stab me with? Was it a dagger, a knife?
It was a knife.
Okay.
He gasps for breath for a little bit and then looks up to you and goes, "Oh my god. I protected you, fool. The brothers own this city. If you strike me down, they will find you and they will do horrible things to you. You will wish you were dead."
Who are these brothers? A local thieving tribe?
Something like that.
Well,
Well, do you want help getting in or not?
I give the door a kick. I almost had it before you interrupted.
Right, right. As I said, though, it'll cost you.
Actually, is it too... Oh, I don't have a full-on healing proficiency. You don't get it, do you, son? Look, the shop's got to be full of loot. All I need is a couple of good blades, and you can pick through the rest.
If I wanted to get in there myself, I could. But old man Macmillan, well, he's not the kind to take lightly to looters. I'm sure there's more than one surprise waiting for you on the other side of that door.
Is it trapped?
Probably not. But I bet there's a night watchman.
So we're going to open the door or not?
Well, it's gonna cost you.
As we're talking, I'll start casting orisons and massaging my knife wound,
Okay.
sealing it closed. What would you say your life is worth, kid?
Hey, I thought we agreed we weren't going to be doing that.
I have agreed to nothing.
All right, all right.
How many of those blades you got?
Oh, enough. Here, I'll get this door open for you. You take care of the night watchman. You take the weapons you need, and I'll take the coin safe. But it's your job to take care of that night watchman, so you be ready.
Very well.
Okay.
How many rounds does it take?
D10 rounds. It takes. Actually, he does it in one round.
So have I got 2 orisons off?
Yeah.
Okay.
He kneels down, clickety clackety, bink, and the lock clicks open. He takes a step back and goes, "All right, monsters first."
I pause, thinking to say something, pull my hood a little self-consciously over my face, and slide in the doorway, silently and hiding, but ready to bum rush anyone I see on the other side.
You open the door, slide in, and are met with a ferocious roar and a swing of an axe as it sails through the air. 13 is not a hit.
Nope. 14.
No.
Let's see.
The axe smacks into the door, clattering off the bronze around the edges of it. And we will resolve what this is when we come back from our break. See you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.